We are back for another one, man. Another Tuesday edition. We brought VoYce Sports in here. You know, it ain't just about youth sports in your local area. It ain't about where I'm at or you're at. It's a whole bigger picture when you're talking about these kids. But before we get into that, shout out to R&R Elite Recruits. Definitely, if you're looking to get recruited, give R&R Elite Recruits a call. Shout out to my guy, Coldwell Bankers, Coastal Home. Mark Wright, a presidential award winner. Give Mark a call if you're looking to buy a house in the local area. And shout out to Strength 401 Strength and Fitness, my guy Emerson Kilgore doing his things. Now, I already told you, you met these guys last week. They were real. They're on point. You know what I mean? When you're talking youth sports, you know, you got to have your boy Wayne Mattews up in the house, the professor. You couldn't have the conversation without Samson, the bad guy, the AD. We're going to bring them all up in here, and Uncle Harry is in his house. Let me get this music off here. What's going on, people? Wayne, how we doing?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. It's going down. What's going on? What's good with you?
I told you look like you got a roulette wheel on your head.
How else do you come to the
Taco Tuesdays?
Unless you have a sombrero?
Taco Tuesdays. There you go, man. How you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Always good to get down. Look, we got the ladies up in here. We got the AD up in this joint.
Yes, I see Miss Laverne. Welcome to the show. We already know our guy Sam.
I'm waving in and out. I can't hear anyone.
Why don't you drop out and come back in?
Yeah, drop back out, come back in. Got that British, you know. You don't hit Harry till you hit Harry.
Yeah, he needs to drop out. Let me send him a quick message because he can't hear us. So, hang on.
See, he got that.
Wayne, why don't you introduce the AD and have her explain how she got involved in VoYce Sports? You know, just like everyone else that I have met, Tony and when the professor and Samson. So it's all yours while I send the professor a message.
That sounds like a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had a chance before, you get a chance to talk to her now. The one and only, the AD of VoYce Sports, the Vern champion Eric in the building. Mama, come on now. We laid out the red carpet. For those people at home who have no clue, never had a chance to meet you before, tell a little bit about who you are, how you ended up with this crazy collection of dudes here.
Wow. Happened by fluke, I would tell you that. I wouldn't say a fluke. I guess, you know, everything is destined to be, and the right people, the right combination of folks getting together at the same time with the same vision. This ideally how it happened. I was the athletic director, been an athletic director in the high school sports for approximately, I guess, 13, 14 years. So right around 2016, Wayne came over to my school. His daughter was one of my managers for the football team and wanted to, you know, he was going to do my homecoming event. And we came over, we touched up about a lot of different things beyond just, you know, announcing the game. So we connected at that point. And then I guess the following year later or so, I was no longer being the athletic director at the high school. So I went back to my roots of my doing it in the community. You know, I have a youth organization called DCPG Sports, and I have A&A Athletic Consulting in my consulting company. So he called me the AD is because I am pretty much a mobile athletic department because individual organizations and companies that were working with me as a high school athletic director are now my community-based partners as well. So again, I help individuals, children, the parent, the athlete, you know, matriculate and do the job of athletic director as far as recruitment and all that kind of stuff, you know, from the streets. And I connect.
Long story short, y'all. Hey, look, y'all. Long story short.
Long story short, I connected with Wayne because there was a thing when it talked about the concussion. That's where we really got involved. That's how I really got connected to youth sports. With VoYce Sports, is because they were trying to cancel football. And we started talking about that, started doing a lot of broadcasts on concussion screenings and things like that, and the youth safety mission. And so that's what I do, youth safety and administration. And that's who I am.
We all need a
Very much so.
mobile recruitment. This is the biggest thing that I say. A lot of these schools, they don't know the first thing to do, respectfully, when it comes to getting these kids recruited. There's counselors in place. So shout out to you. We definitely need people like you. See, there's an idea. Somebody wants to stay involved in your community, your state. Do what the AD does. You know what I mean? Get these kids recruited to college, man. Shout out to you. Kudos, man. A lot of good topics tonight.
It go deep into that, but I know we was gonna break the show up into teams. We ain't got the numbers in here yet to do that, but we still got great topics in regards to coaching. Good coach, bad coach. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a video, and after the video, we're gonna break it down and see where everybody stand on it from your perspective. Sound good?
So this
Yeah,
like you make the call.
Yeah,
there you
kind of
go.
like exactly.
All right, Laverne, you're showing your age now. You're showing your age.
Yes.
Yeah,
People don't
definitely.
remember that. They don't remember that. They don't remember
Oh,
that.
shit.
All right, Wayne, hold it down. You
I know
hold it
that's
down
right.
while I get the video uploaded and everything, and I'll get it ready. And I know Wayne Sampson's in the house, man. Samson, what was
Man.
up with While I get the video ready, I seen that post you posted about the high school earlier. Yeah, he might have to drop
Can you
out and
see
come
it?
back
Yeah,
in
you lagging?
too.
I
He
was
had a
lagging.
I'm lagging really bad.
Oh yeah, I see. You got to.
If you're lagging, drop out and come back in. Leave,
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
come out and come
Might
back
be
in.
that signal of where y'all at. So make sure you check it. Make sure you got all your bars. But yeah, I saw that. There's a lot of stuff going on with the sports and just I don't know, man. It's so much stuff, like Wayne said. There's so much stuff to actually talk about. When you talk about the good coach, bad coach, what are parents looking for? What are coaches actually looking for when they're recruiting? How about that part? What are coaches actually looking for when they get out there and recruit? You just want the kid, right? You see the kid first. Nobody thinks to have I'll say you have to be friends with the parents, but you have to have that understanding in that relationship. Samson, you back? You can hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you back now, man. I keep telling you, I'm on.
Now you want the video coaches speaking some real shit first from South
Yeah,
Florida?
go ahead. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, give me 1 second. I just gotta hang on.
So we're gonna switch to the video so you all see the video, and then we'll get your feedback after you finish playing it out. Again, my man, the professor here, Samson the bad guy, and the AD. We're gonna make it happen, bro. Let's go to the
Okay,
video.
hold on 1 second.
There you go.
And I can talk about talking to you. There's something going on in your head, you don't listen. When he get tired of talking to you, and I get tired of talking to you, you're gonna be on the sideline. As your coach, you're gonna be on the sideline. You can never win that battle. It's gonna be, yes, coach. Let us go look at the film and find out that we was wrong, and we can come back to you and say, hey, you was right. But at the end of the day, you're a child, you're a kid, and you gotta stay in that place. You gotta be coachable, JoJo. Right now, you ain't coachable. Because we looking at you, you got every excuse for everything in your head. I was doing this, I was doing it, but you weren't doing what we telling you to do. So what that look like?
Well,
That was strong right there.
And to be honest with you, I think it was said subtle. Listen, that was the nicest way any coach could have actually said those words that he just said. That I'm standing on 10 toes on that one.
No, that's a fact, man. I seen some coaches, really tell kids, it's you can stay here or you can go there. I'd rather you stay here. Like, bounce. Kids don't want to be there. You can't make them be there. I'm starting to learn you can't save everybody. And I'd be trying, too. I'd be trying, but I'm really starting to learn that. Kid calls me, parent, the coach won't let my kid on the team. He didn't go to off-season conditions. And I was like, well, that's kind of voluntarily, but that shows where the kid's at. And then you find out 1.8 GPA, lied to the coach about doctor's notes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, Well, I can't defend that.
Right.
I mean, so like, yeah, that's some strong words, man. Kids need that. Kids need that.
AD, what you think?
Well, he politely said it. He put him in his place. He didn't curse him out, but he was very stern and direct in how he said what he said. Unfortunately, however, if that child felt like his feelings were hurt, that coach could still, be looked at as he said something or did something wrong. Because of currently right now the climate in sports, especially high school or either youth sports, is that you really can't be truthful with children at this point in time, which is actually dangerous because it gives a false sense of security to that child or that family that this child is doing the right thing, saying the right thing, and should be in a certain place. But that coach, I liked how he was very direct and said what he needed to say. But if a kid felt like his feelings were hurt, and he go tell there's somebody that he felt his feelings were hurt, he can actually probably be disciplined as far as the coach for saying that to the kid.
Samson, what you think?
I mean, me being a coach that's still coaching right now, I honestly didn't see nothing wrong with what that man did. He made it clear from the beginning what he was going to deal with, what he wasn't going to deal with, and how things was going to be. I feel like as a coach, if you put that structure out there from the gate and you let it be known from the gate that you're not doing nothing really wrong.
One of our listeners also said he was being as nice as possible, telling him how it is. Shout out to Joe.
No doubt. Now, so at the end of the day, we all agree, good coach or bad coach?
Good. Definitely good coach.
In that particular situation, that was okay. That's a thumbs up.
Good.
All right, good. Outstanding. I think you have to be sincere with a lot of these kids nowadays because they get sugar-coated. And I don't want to say it's making them very soft, but at the same token, I think he did an outstanding job to do it without cursing, which is something everybody always screams about. But again, he got his point across. I don't see if where he offended him in any way. What we got next up there?
Let me get this one.
Oh, this was funny. This was
next
funny.
one: coaches now versus coaches then. Here we go.
This is
You're
hilarious.
perfect. We do not win unless we win. Refer to me as sir and sir only, and my word is law. I'll be running 3 days for the next month.
Hello, team. I am your coach, if that's okay with you. I know that we're all coming here as strangers, but if we do it right, I think
He's being a millennial.
by the end of the year, we can all be friends.
We will be.
Come on now, you got it. I know I got good Wi-Fi.
Perfect. We will run drills until we are perfect. We will win until we are perfect. We do not win unless we win by 40.
Let's talk maybe goals for the season. Everyone must have fun. Okay, if everyone has fun at practice today, I'm going to take you to Holiday and get you a treat.
Do I make myself clear? Run some drills. Let's see if you sad sacks are worth anything.
Okay, let's just hop into some team bonding. We're going to go around the room. Tell me something about yourself. Because we're all special.
All right, first drill, bowl in the ring. Hey, fancy pants, get in the middle, and everyone take turns running as hard as you can to hit them as hard as you can. We got to toughen up before the first game.
All right, so first drill, everyone circle up, take a seat. We're going to play Duck, Duck, Gray Duck.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
What?
you're upset. Well, here's a news flash for you. Your kid sucks. Really bad. Kid can't catch a cold. Only reason why he's still on the team is I need someone to pick up the cones after practice.
Oh, Shanice, how are you? Oh, you're upset that he's not getting enough playing time? I'm so sorry. That's completely my fault. I'll make up for it. Maybe this next game I can let him play and be the head coach.
How many times do I got to say it? No water. There will be no water at this practice.
Let me pause that just for 1 second so I don't get a damn copyright strike. But so far you had Coach then versus now. You had a lot of what you're seeing going on today. I seen at the college level, like a Division I school having a picnic. Like that's why you won one game. Let's all be friends. Kumbaya. But what do you guys think up to this point? Wayne, you could get it going.
Man, when I saw this video, I couldn't. First, it just struck me as funny Not because he was comedic in it, but it's true. And you see these two kind of coaches all the time, and sometimes it's depicted by area, and sometimes depicted by team. Some people would say this is a good coach, and some would say it's a bad coach, and vice versa. I think some kids need discipline along with the learning of the game, but there's a limit to it. And then two, I'm gonna be flat out on. Let me stop being all sugar-coated. This dude sounds like a child advocate, not a coach, bro. I don't know how you gonna get anything done. Can you please run to the left side? What the heck? Come on, bro. Okay. Man, I had to put that in front of the team because we got too many coaches that sit here, look at this and go, this is crazy.
Professor, let me ask you: the coach now, are they being vilified? Are they being turned into the bad guy?
No, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't like either one of them. The then versus now. Even the then, they were stern, but it was never to that. It was never to that extent. Even listening to both of them, I'm almost agreeing with Wayne. Neither one of them probably got a winning record. We know whose is worse, right? But you could actually tell, and like. Again, to hop off what Wayne says, it's crazy to think that you want to come out there and become friends. You want to come out there and become friends with a kid and all that. I think that's a bonus. If you get tight with that kid or you develop a bond with that player, that's a bonus at the end of the day. You're there to do a job. You're there to do something first, right? And that's coach football. You cannot. And I've said this a million times, and I'll probably say it a million more. It is hard to teach the most dangerous sport in the world soft. You can't. I cannot teach you the game of football in a soft, cuddly manner. It's not going to happen.
So is it a good coach or bad coach?
Both of them? Bad.
Yeah. There you go. AD, come on, give me your thoughts.
AD.
I would just say.
Why did she say first? It's gonna be bad.
It just neither one of them had balance, and so with that, the one that was overly friendly, depending on the population that they're working with, not going to get any respect. To a degree, the one that was overly aggressive. And was unrealistic, and so neither one of them had a balance of reality, and so if I wasn't hiring, neither one would be on my staff.
That's a good point. I think it was two extremes. That's a great point. I think a great coach, a good coach, would have to be a little bit of both.
I always listen to my conscience.
Samson, what's up, man?
Your personnel.
Always.
You know your personnel and the personalities of your players. You know which one of those characteristics you got to bring out in yourself
Bingo.
to be able to meet the need of your population.
Right. I can see some people taking their kids to the then coach, but I also see some parents taking their kids to the now coach because they didn't like what the then coach was doing. So it's kind of like
find that happy medium in between. You're trying to find that person that's in between. That's just what Laverne was saying. You got to have a little bit of both and know where to take it. We're not saying change the person that you are, but maybe just change your approach.
All right, so.
No, that's right. Samson, you good? Can you hear us?
Man, I can hear y'all, but I think y'all can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
We got you good, man. Tell me your thoughts on the then and now coach.
Listen, on the then and now, both of them trash bag.
Yo, Samson I like Samson, man.
Just listen. I mean, come on, man. The first one was just totally disrespectful. The then coach, like Professor said, I remember him being harsh, but they weren't disrespectful. The then coach was just flat out disrespectful. And then the now coach, come on, man. There ain't no kids gonna give him no respect. And he gonna get kids hurt. You can't, like he said, you can't coach a violent game that soft. No way, shape, and how.
So you say that. Well, so what sport would that coach actually be good for then? Because I know your point of reference is a violent sport. But so I'm a volleyball coach, softball coach. I don't see that working on any.
I'm about to say, AD, I guarantee you tell us, because I guarantee you wouldn't hire him for not a single sport. Inside, he might do gym class. He might be the PE teacher, but that'd be the extent he would go.
Golf. He would get golf. He would be.
He ain't even getting golf
because it's a quiet sport. It's a quiet sport, so he can get golf. Please be quiet.
I think it was a great idea by Wayne and Skip to bring on the AD, because now people get to see it. Oh, my bad. Mikey, Big Mike the Rebel Rebello. We call him Skip.
Skip's kind of working on me. Skip's working.
The hood Skip to bring in AD, because now they hear it from our standpoint and they're thinking, well, it's just, these guys they're talking. They don't know anybody inside the school or the structure. Well, here it is. We try to tell people around everywhere we go. Listen, it goes a little bit more than just sports with us. It goes a little bit more than just us getting out there, calling a game and knowing the players or knowing what the penalty is called and stuff. So I kind of like the fact that the AD, Miss Laverne, is joining us tonight. And again, I know she would. There's no way she wouldn't hire that now coach. A coach, he wouldn't be no coach.
To what you're saying, the professor, the schools and the ADs, I don't know about you, but they reach out to me a lot. I had school administrators telling me, keep up what I'm doing. I'm like, we are the voice of reality. Newspapers and the people that have the reach, they're not going to tell these people that. They're going to report what the league wants. They'll never touch on topics like this that really need to be talked about.
Yeah, nobody rarely does. That's one of the first things of the many conversations myself and Wayne had in the beginning. And this has only been going on year 2 right here. But we've had many conversations, and I was always at first going through saying, hey, I'm going to run this idea by you. Hey, I want to run this idea. He's like, listen, if it's so long as it's clean and it's about the youth sports, pretty much you're gonna say stuff that some people don't want to hear. You're gonna say some stuff that people don't want to talk about. You're gonna say some stuff that people are not going to agree with. This is who you are. This is what it is. This is reality. So I've always wanted to put myself as being, I'm right there on the fence. I'm a parent. I was a former coach. I've coached all the way up to middle school ball, from little league all the way up. I've done it. Now I'm an announcer. Okay, I'm the guy in the press box. You think that I'm just sitting there watching the game? I'm studying everything. I watch football different.
You say your mustache off?
Hey,
you say your mustache off?
It was a quick incident. We ain't gonna talk about all that. They look about 10 years younger.
And I know what you're saying. I could relate because I touch them topics. People don't want to touch on, so I can relate that people don't want to hear it. But you know what? More people appreciate when you're authentic and when you don't sell out your integrity and you want the best for these kids. I don't know no other way. My kids, I raised them not to know any other way. I mean, it is what it is. But let's get back into this video, and then I'll see if anyone. Go ahead, Wayne.
Hey, Mike, when we jump into that next video, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, person by person. I don't know if we still got Samson in here or if we got him vocally. I don't know if Harry's in here.
I'm getting Uncle Harry in right now. It says Uncle Harry is now in the room.
There we
Uncle
go.
Harry, you with us?
Man, okay. Well, let's go ahead and start from the top of the totem pole then. AD, we're going to go ahead and put the elephant in the room out there. Coaches that curse, whether it's youth, middle school, or high school. As an athletic director, your take on it.
Here she go again. Here she go again. Here she go again.
I'm going to say this. Because I'm going to tell you like this is a double-edged sword. Just a double-edged sword. Me administratively, you know, you little kids, 10 and under.
Because I know you're a coach
you don't
too, so I know, you know what I'm saying? You know,
that's why I say it's a double-edged sword. So 10 and under, there's no reason to have to curse at them the kids. They just trying to get it, understand the concept. So you think that because you barking loud, cursing loud, that they're learning something. Oftentimes I notice a lot of coaches, when they stop barking and cursing, they don't know the game. So you think the louder you talk and the more you curse, it's going to be getting the point across, but you don't have a point to make because you haven't broken it down. That's what I understand. Now, I would say I have been guilty as a coach to have used profanity.
What the hell are you doing?
Now, it wasn't nothing. It might be the hell, damn, shit. You know, unless I went in, my daughter would tell me if I dropped the F-bomb. Because if I lose it, it's because, and I say the F-bomb, it's because it was absolutely ridiculous.
Right,
and so, and instead of me staying in coach mode, I got angry. I got emotional. As long as I'm not emotional to that degree, I can maintain and still coach, be direct, say what I need to say. But if I let the emotion of the anger or the frustration get into it, then that's when I will lose it. And so then, like I said, that's a double-edged sword because I had to pull myself up as a coach and, you know, even use a bucket, you know, drop a quarters in the bucket because my mouth got trite. And
that's a heavy bucket.
And my problem was my problem will come into play when it was due to discipline. Discipline that you don't execute the way you should execute because you don't want to, you don't feel like you're not in the mood, not because you don't know. And so those were areas of frustration. So that's it's a double-edged sword, but I don't think there's nobody at any point, you don't have to degrade. If profanity is used, especially if you're at the high school level, you don't degrade anybody. Don't call people out their name as calling boys P and girls D. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to say that kind of stuff. But I've heard it said on sidelines. And if you on the sideline, especially at a football game, and somebody hear that in the stands, you just want to be seen.
That's right. There you go. See, look.
You like that?
Parental advisory. The hell you
gotta
got
let
that
them
up there
know.
for?
Viewer discretion may be advised.
People get this mechanism.
I could have said what I wanted to say and how I want to say it. Shit.
No, it's all good. I just needed something to drop the screen.
Look, if it's a double-edged sword for the AD, it got to be a Rambo knife for a coach. So talk to me, Professor. What's the word? Cussing or no cussing?
All right, I 6U, 8U, no cussing. 10U, 12U, 13U, keep it within a minimum of words used. Because I'm like the AD. I've used it, but I'm more the quiet. When I get quiet is when it really is bad. Like I'm in your ear. I try not to say it out loud. I used to be out loud with it, but then I started just pulling you close to me, and I'm gonna whisper in your ear a few choice words, just like you said. If you don't get your ass down that field and lower your shoulders and put them over your toes and run through that son of a gun, I try to use words like that. I don't really try to use cursing in my everyday vocabulary because, you know, as we get older, we trying to make it to heaven. So I took a few years back. And started working on that. So I say 10U, 12U, 13U. You can use it. You can use it, but just keep it to a certain stack. 6U and 8U, don't do it at all.
All right. So from an announcer's perspective, I will say this. In a lot of the talks we have when I'm grooming or training to a degree or sharing information, we talk about the ability that as an announcer, everything you say go 5 miles in every direction.
Correct.
The person sitting in the bleachers can turn around and say, "You're terrible. That song sucks. You know what I'm saying?" But anything they can say derogatory between their position in the bleachers and you is only heard by a handful of people in that midsection.
Exactly.
But if you respond, yo, shut the up, turn around, watch the guy. You know what I'm saying? You're going 5 miles that way. Somebody walking out of Burger King with their sandwich trying to figure out if they got their order right, go, what the hell going on over there? Because you're projecting. So again, I would say cursing is something that will always happen. It's something that when you hear it, how it impacts you changes things. It's kind of like when people say things that are sexually suggestive. What they call that, AD? What they call it when you on the job? Somebody says sexual harassment, right? It's not. Sometimes it's not what you said; it's how you said it. And if we're standing in the room, if we're standing on the sidelines, and the coach walk over and grab a kid and say, "What the hell was you thinking about?" If it doesn't startle you and make you want to run over and punch him in his nose, it's different than when he say, "What the F was you doing, man?" Hold up, Playboy. That's not how you address that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the perception.
Bring it to the point it strikes a nerve that you went too far. Right. So I think it's case sensitive to that degree. Most notably, they had Snoop Dogg, Coach Snoop show. He went through a lot of rigmarole because the coach was like, "Hey, these kids talk to each other way worse than anything I'm effing saying to them," and he was just free with it. While that's his perspective, that's his take. Those kids from that area may use that kind of language, and he shared in it versus being an example out of it. I'm never going to criticize or scrutinize his choice in dealing with that, but I guarantee you go to Loudoun County or you go to Montgomery County somewhere or deep out there in Indian Head, Maryland, that type of dialogue is like sticks out like a sore throat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But you know what's crazy, and just like you're saying, depending on your background, right? If a child, let's say you're a profanity using coach, but a child comes onto your team that isn't used to the profanity inside their home. They've never heard those type of words and used in that type of style. And then all of a sudden they come to you. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to shut down. They're probably not going to perform to their best because they're taken back by the aggressive approach or what they may seem as aggressive. Not only can you use profanity, yes. I'm not telling you to use profanity, but can you use profanity? Yes. But make sure that at the end of the day that you talk to that child and you build that child back up if you see that you have broken that child down. It can't be personal. Like AD says, you can't be in your feelings about it.
But the use of profanity, you know, let's say you have to build a child back up. No matter what you say, whether it's profane or not, should never be to the point where it breaks down a child because of performance or something like that. So the context of when profanity is used matters. And it's like, can I say what I'm getting ready to say, get the point across without using profanity? If the answer to that is yes, then don't. Don't. Because that's a question. I would say, I flip my AD hat on. That would be a question. What would be the better way to say that? When you have coaches that just, their next word, bring everybody in, and off the break, they start going in. It's like, what's a better way you could have said that? Because you got nobody's attention. And then, because just like when you were a child, if somebody's always yelling, you stop listening. And so if the coaches, as soon as we get together, they're going to start cussing. They no longer listening. So you lost your audience. So you got to have, so that's why sometimes when you do that quiet part, and then they say, okay, what's getting ready to happen? And that's silent. And they're processing at that point. They're processing.
The part that I'm missing, that I don't hear AD say yet is the question of professionalism. As if you're like you just said, if you see your head coach and you're the athletic director and you hear him talking to players like that, do you question his professionalism because of his language selection?
What's your record?
Do I question
what's your
professionalism?
He says, "What's your record?"
Professionalism comes in many different ways. So therefore, I know PhDs that are on the surface and they're in their zone, they're in their suit, whatever. They are super duper professional. You never know it. But no sooner as they're in a different pocket, they're like a sailor. So I don't question somebody's professionalism if that is their own, if that's one of their only weaknesses, because that will be an area where you say you do just need to learn better communication styles. Because in this environment, with this population, as you said, with this population, you can't communicate like that. So again, it goes back to your audience and where they come from.
As well. Get rid of them as an AD. You get rid of them. No, let's take. Hold on. We'll take Mikey's. We'll take part of Mikey's statement and we'll introduce it into my question. You've won 3 state titles. You've won at high school. You won 3 state titles, but the only complaint that you have is that the coach, the offensive coordinator, head coach. Well, we'll say it's the head coach, right? The head coach has a problem with using profanity, not only at practice, but he's done it at the games. Loves those kids. He really does, but he uses profanity. He's built a team around himself. You get rid of
3 championships, bro. That's
3 state titles.
As an AD, you have to keep them. I mean, you put yourself in a tough position.
To try to keep them, especially if there are complaints coming. Because once complaints start coming in one area about a particular coach, now it's upon me as the AD or any AD to start investigating a little bit more. So you're going to have to bring him in and do a corrective action. You're going to have to bring it up. So we're going to have to fix that.
Yeah, see that?
Because
I knew that because she said corrective action. That means that means she's gonna holler at you. She's gonna holler at you. Gonna take that walk. Be like, come on. Come on, walk me out to the soccer field right quick. Let me walk with you out to the soccer field right quick. I want to talk to you about a couple things. The other day you called this boy. You was in practice calling this boy a nappy head son bitch. And I said, try to tell you not to do that. Exactly. I said, don't call him no nappy head son bitch. You did it anyway. You need to get that in check. You can't be saying that around his aunts and uncles and all that. You can cut that out. We have to let you go.
Because don't them complaints come in anyway? When you're an AD, don't everybody complain about the head coach? I mean, in one way or another.
They do, but some things don't have validity. Mm-hmm. Some things don't have validity, and there's some things that you can that need to be fixed. Some things people are just the way. If you don't like the way the coach coaches, but they're getting the job done. Like I could look at some high schools now, they won state championships, and the parents were still complaining. What you complaining about? What is your goal for complaining at this point? They didn't run the play to your son's side. He didn't start. Whatever the case may be. So the thing is, everything is not valid, but there in areas where there is validity and there is policy. That's the other part. If there's policy that states that you got to enforce it.
There you go.
And everybody knows me. My thing is policy and practice. So you can't sit there and say there's a policy and you disregard the policy that is standing. So as a representative of an organization or school or whatever, I got to uphold that. And even though you're working with a person's personality, you still got to uphold law of the land.
Tell you the truth.
Not trying to make adaptations.
Coming from me, I gotta get him. Yeah, Samson's in here, but coming from me, like I gotta say, like, shout out to the ADs because that is a tough job. They got all these different sports. They got everyone pulling at them each different way. You have to be a problem solver, and their job is not guaranteed like a teacher or someone else in the school department. So they have to deal with politics, the community, the coaching staff. Like, shout out to all the ADs because they really have a tough job to do.
Amen. Where's Samson at?
Samson's here. He's saying hell no.
I'm saying hell to the no.
Lord, here you go.
Not all of them. No, sir.
You're right. You're right.
This is the worst thing could have happened to some of them. I got signal now. Hell no. No, sir.
Well, hell no about what?
About a shout out to all the ADs. That's shout out to the AD. That's like everything else. Some of them, not all of them, because a lot of them around here, I don't know about up there, but some of them down here don't got the slightest clue what the hell they doing. You want to be an
you're
AD.
Right. You're
Just
right.
because you're a good business person don't make you a good AD. How you gonna be an athletic director? You don't know nothing about athletics.
I mean,
Wow.
he's right. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Well, shout out to the ADs that are doing their hardest.
We talking about the use of profanity, coach.
Oh,
and I know. Funny. We was in
he went straight off the.
Hey, you got a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, look, that's how the bad guy roll.
Me and Samson need to have our own show. Me and Samson, the bad guy,
and this weekend,
and Hood Skip.
This weekend we had games out at John Champ High School. Samson, bad guy, came out. We had a great time. Talked to a lot of people and had an opportunity to cover the 703 United game. A very prestigious team, Division II national champions last year, playing against the local Hammers. My man Samson called the game, did a great job. While I was down on ground level, the first thing all of your homies said to me was, this is the most professional he's ever sounded in his life.
Hey, he's showing off. He's showing off because Big Dog watching.
So I said this. I say that to say this. Samson is probably the most loose with his language. So what is your take on the use of profanity in coaching? Youth, middle school, high school. I know you're gonna be real. That's why I'm scared. Hey, hold on. Flash that thing one time, right quick, before we start talking.
Warning.
All right. Hold on. Give me a second.
Hit me with the warning.
No, that's the other one. Hang on.
No, that's not fair. Yeah, fair use. No.
There we go.
That right there. All right, now we're gonna get Samson to answer his question. Go ahead.
So we got to clarify this. All right. So we talking high school, middle school, or are we talking youth?
All three. You take all three of them in sections. Deal with the youth and go to the high school.
So with the youth, I'm gonna have to keep it real with you. I mean, know the child, know who you talking to, know the parents, know who you dealing with. Like I know on my 13U and on the 12U I got right now, my parents know what it is with me. My parents know how I get down. So you got to know the child and know the parent. If I got a kid on my team and his parents is like, coach, do what you do, and he do something wrong, then yeah, I'm gonna walk up beside him. Man, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what you're supposed to be doing. Why the hell you not doing it? But if I got a kid whose parents I know, if little Johnny mama always walking around with little Johnny on the titty, I know I can't tell little Johnny, get your ass over there and do what the hell I tell you to do. You understand what I'm saying? But I know if little Johnny's mom,
little Johnny running right back to that titty.
Right.
Going right back to that.
He's going right back to it. So
he can't drink Gatorade. He has to drink skim milk.
So on any level, with me on any level, it's always about know the parent. Like with me, that's why I do travel. That's why I do travel football, because I recruit my kids. So if I know how I am as a coach, I already know what type of kids to go for. I'm not going to go get little Tommy if I know little Tommy mama still pulling the crust off his peanut butter and jelly sandwich and he in the 9th grade. I'm not going to go get him because I know he's not going to fit the way that I coach. I'm going to go get the one. I'm going to go get the one who got mama's leftover chicken for lunch the next day at school, because I know that if he do something he's not supposed to, mom and dad going to sit getting his ass. So at the end of the day, with me, with the profanity thing is about knowing who you got and knowing who you coaching. Because some of these kids don't reply. I got some kids, I'm telling you right now, I got some kids in my 13U. They don't know nothing other than shut the hell up and do what the hell I tell you to do. Because if you say it any other way, they're going to feel like they can run over you. So with me, it's all about knowing what you got, knowing who you got. Anybody outside your team, it don't matter what they say. If I tell my dude, I done told one of my 13-year-old kids, get over and get your ass cussed out. Because I know with him I can do that. I don't care what the other coach think. His mom know what it is. So at the end of the day, if his mom know what it is and she's had him on my team year after year, I mean, it is what it is. You just got to know your lane. Like y'all always tell me, find your lane. So at the end of the day, you just got to know your kids. You got to know.
It's a part of tough love. So it's a part of tough love. I mean, I grew up like that. My father was in the Navy. Now it was more my mom that was doing all the cussing and fussing and all that stuff. But I mean, that made me to the person who I am today. I'm strict with my kids. I'm firm, but I'm fair. But you start
Mills
going
Lane.
left after I already told you stay this way.
Mills Lane.
We got an issue.
I was firm with the first three. The
it's-
last one walks all over me.
It's great. It's great that he brought up the relationship component, knowing the parents and the kids' backgrounds in it, which leads into the next conversation, which will be what we wrap up with, and that is, as a coach, as a parent more so watching at home, you want to find the right coach for your kid. Again, like Samson said, you know what it takes to get your kid going. You know how you talk to them, and you know how you don't talk to them. So for one person to see this coach being strict and stern, you got some parents to say, my son need that. Then you got them ones that see the guy that's, really, really nice and go, okay, I can leave him with him. And that's usually because you got two types of parents. You got the type of parent that's there to watch, monitor, and support their kid, whether it's football, basketball, or any sport. Then you also have that parent that, hey, look, it's just a form of daycare. And I want to make sure I come back, he's not dead, stabbed up, or hurt. So you got to watch out, because again, when parents go to pick coaches, you need to know what you're looking at when you talk to them. We got one more video though, Mikey, and we pretty much we started to wrap it up, right?
Yeah. Give me 1 second just to
one thing with that relationship thing with parents, I do think it takes all, it does take a partnership, but just always be mindful that at the end of the day, that child is their first priority. And when they get upset with you, everything you said, because they are cataloging. No matter how much they tell you, you got the green light, coach, do what you got to do. They cataloging. Right. So as soon as they get upset with you enough, they're going to pull out that catalog and run it to the newspaper, to the superintendent, to the mayor, to the governor, whoever they're going to do, get it to. So
they don't
always
like me down here anyway.
Right. So this last video,
just be mindful and remember what you and who you represent, and again, who the first advocate for that child is.
This last video we getting ready to play is coming from a coach's perspective. Coach has had it up to here. He gonna get a chance to vent. Let's check him out. See if he agree with him.
For the season start, I done got too many text messages, too many group messages, too many subliminal messages on social media. I'm gonna tell, not this year, not Coach Blue. First of all, let me tell you something. I'm volunteering my damn time. I am volunteering coaching your damn son, and you know this. First of all, you treat my practice like a daycare center.
There you go.
The football field is the only place in the world where you can drop your kid off for free. That's the only place in the world. You know what? Every daycare center, I know charge a fee. Every daycare center, I know charge a fee. And then, and you trying to tell me us coaches volunteer all time, and this is things we get?
Man, they talk about school teachers.
Why you trying to sing your baby dad at me telling me you better put my son in? I don't better do a damn thing. Better stay black. I can die. I ain't got to do with that. First of all, did you tell your baby daddy when you bring little pat ass to practice, his thigh pads on his knees?
Oh my gosh.
Did you tell your baby daddy his hip pads on his ass?
And the shoulder pads be on the wrist.
Did you tell him his shoulder pads on his wrist like a goddamn person?
Listen.
Did you say that? Did you tell him about the helmet and the chin strap that is never buckled? Huh? Seriously?
I like how he ran through every dad. He said the boyfriend, the stepdad, the baby daddy.
Pocket. First off, he can't count by two, so he can't go to the proper hole. I got 2, 4, 6, 8. He get the ball like this, and he go that way. Really? And we ain't gonna even talk about the registration fee. We're not even gonna talk about it.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
How you pay nothing for that? That's a double negative. and then your baby daddy got the nerve to come to me.
Oh, escalate the baby daddy.
Boy, I spent too much money on his drip, boy. He need to get in the game. First of all, your son ain't but 80 pounds. Why do you got 40 pounds worth of tape on him? Now he that show can't move. You got a new T-strap, don't even know how to snap it up right. The black T-strap on his damn face like this. He can't breathe, man.
Hey, Mike, let's stop that. We stop that right there.
Yeah, I got you. Yo, that dude, he was talking. I like that, man.
He was going in.
That's that is that is a gentleman from Georgia, actually.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him, man.
He's a coach out of Georgia / comedian at the same time, but he actually talks about a lot of the topics that, again, same things like we do. Folks that don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it.
Especially when it comes to that registration fee. You ain't paid nothing but come out and complaining. And we didn't have to raise the money to get your child to even play. Ooh, wait.
Facts.
How many times people told me not to talk about stuff like that and said, oh, it's going to hurt you, you know, but I think I said I'll take the hit because these are things that need to be talked about.
Wow. So
you
Samson,
I go live.
after watching this video, Samson, what's your thoughts on it, man? Good coach, bad coach?
That looks like good. What you talking about?
What's bad?
Talking about
he
Willis.
said nothing that ain't true. What is it that ain't true?
That's a fact.
That's the whole purpose.
I want somebody to tell me one thing that man said that ain't true.
Right.
Majority, and this is the thing, in my honest, and this is just me being honest, the professor was just saying, you got the ones that literally come out there, you see the kid and don't never see them, not before, during, or after practice. As a head coach, you run around scared to death because you know he got there. You don't know who picked him up. You don't know if he's still at the field or nothing.
Right.
You got the ones, like he said, you got parents out there complaining, or the dad, like he said, the dads that pull up to the game, you ain't seen them all week. The dads that pull up to the game, and they want to talk about their kid not playing because all the money they spent on drip. Well, you brought $300 in drip, but we went out here and sold raffle tickets so he could play. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me personally, I don't see nothing that he is saying wrong. People gonna say, oh, he not saying it the right way, but who's to say what's the right and wrong way to say it when you don't? This is the thing. A lot of people hear coaches like that rant and they snap off. And if you watch my live, you see me do it from time to time. I'm just gonna be honest. But they don't know how long these coaches been dealing with this.
Right.
Like if you've been a coach for 5 years picking the same kid up, and every time you go to pick him up, mom and dad both sitting there on the front step, rolling the blunt and eating Doritos.
Oh Lord!
Well, you got $2 for a 40. Can I get $2?
Hold on, but he need to ride to and from practice. But then when I come to drop him back off, y'all sitting in the same exact spot. Come on, bro. Like, we don't know how long these coaches deal with this stuff. I got a coach right now, been coaching with me for almost 11 years, and he's started coaching because he's had parents. He's done that for 11 years. And then had the nerve to have parents question what he did with funds and things like, really? So again, I really don't see nothing wrong with what he said at all. There's a lot of truth behind what he said. And it's not just in one area. You can go to any program, you can go to any area. I don't care if it's a poverty-stricken area or a wealthy area, and you're still going to find them same type of parents, like he said. Oh, I got 2 hours to go get my nails done. Oh, I got 2 hours to go run to the barbershop. Like that's how they look at it. Let's be real.
Now, let me tell you, even a wealthy area, you have that registration problem. You wouldn't think it. Yes. They trying to slide on that. Let me see if I can slide. Maybe they won't notice.
AD, give me your thoughts.
Uncle Harry back.
AD, give me your thoughts on it.
Well, as was that Samson? He was truthful. The guy was truthful. He delivered it frustrated. That was just all frustration at that point.
Yep.
But what he said, it was true. But one thing I would say, when you know that you are in a thankless job, then you got to be able to be mindful of not getting frustrated, because if you agree every year to step right back into this thankless job, then you either a glutton for punishment or you accepting what the status quo is. And so, so you can't let it really get to you to that degree where you blow your top, because that's a choice that as a grown adult that you're making. And because it's not going to change, because it's just the nature of the beast.
Oh,
and so if you walk back into that area, like I'm a teacher and a coach. I can't complain about the fact that nobody respects teachers. And I walk back in and I'm year 29. I can't walk back in there and complain about it year after year after year. It's either you're going to change what you do or accept it and roll with it.
That's why I'm going to sports media. I'm getting the hell out of it.
Come on home. Come on home, man. Come on home.
Harry in here finally. We got Uncle Harry in here finally. We're going to finish up with the professor. But Uncle Harry, welcome to the show, man. Glad to finally have you in here.
Glad to be back, Wayne, man. Seriously glad to be back.
Yeah,
man, ladies and gentlemen, if you never had a chance to meet Uncle Harry is my man out there in West Virginia. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man, and how you got attached to VoYce Sports.
All right, real quick. First of all, for those of you who don't know where the Eastern Panhandle is, it's on that little tiny tip in the corner that has a little piece of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Maryland. And we're just shy of DC and VA. So we're like the hub of all of that. So now, real quick, I miss you guys. Say it again. You're kind of going in and out.
I said you everybody's cousin.
Yeah. That's
yeah, kind of. Well, actually, I'm everybody's uncle, for real.
Everybody's uncle.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm that favorite uncle.
So,
hold on for a second real quick, guys, because I am breaking up.
He's zapping out. All right. So again, Professor, your take on the last video.
I liked it. And I think the AD was correct, maybe with a little bit of frustration in it. But I guess if you don't know how long it's been going on, maybe it does take a while to, for it to boil over. Hence why I say have those meetings in the beginning. That way everybody's on the same page and they understand one another. And you guys know what to expect coming later on down the road, especially when it comes to registration. After a while, it's a private conversation, have off to the side. But hey, if you've been harassing me about playing time and don't have this and don't have that, you don't have your stuff together, I believe in what Coach Blue did, and I probably would do the same. Just as long as it's not in front of everybody, I would have done the same.
Man, when I watched this video, I could not stop laughing because the first thing about it that struck me was that every last statement he made is not only funny because you visualized it, but it goes on everywhere. Right. So him making his statement speaks for a multitude of coaches. And the funny part is he's in Georgia, but I know coaches in Maryland that go through it. There's coaches in West Virginia that go through it. There's coaches in New York that go through it. And the fact that I would say it was more so a rant, and it was substantiated in so many different ways, that these coaches need a platform, a place to where they can be able to speak on it. In the conclusion of the whole show, though, excited about the way we've been able to see a lot of different coaches on each level. Everybody will give you about let's give everybody 5 minutes to make a closing statement on any topic. And also, as you close out, let everybody know when your next show is going to be on or where they can find you next. We'll go ahead and start off with Samson. Come on.
Me personally, with the coaches thing, man, I think people need to give these coaches from the high school level. You know, I follow high school and I follow the youth. And I feel like some of these coaches, you know, and I'm not going to say all, because some of them deserve for people to be at their neck. But I think the parents kind of got to have a more of an understanding. Like one of the high schools, I'm going to speak on behalf of one of the high schools out here in our area right now. Liberty High School. A good friend of mine, Coach Freddie Harris, coaches over there. And I give coaches flack when they deserve it, but right now they're going through a situation where the parents is on their back, the parents is on their neck, and honestly speaking, they just don't have what they need to be successful right now because they're going through a change. As far as they got smaller kids, they got a very young team, but the rest of the district is pretty old, if you know what I'm saying. So, with that being said, I just feel like the parents need to have a little more understanding as to what the coaches are actually dealing with on a regular basis and what they have to fight through to be successful, rather than just jumping right down their throat. Because everybody thinks coaching is easy when you're sitting at home on the sofa, but there's a lot more that goes on behind coaching than just calling plays.
Man, do you have a special organization or player you want to give a shout out to?
Most definitely, Commonwealth Elite Warriors, baby. Shout
There
out
you
to
go.
the Warriors program, because in all honesty, man, like Big Zach Terrell, he has really showed me a lot. I call him Uncle Zach, so I got to give a shout out to the Commonwealth Elite Warriors. Uncle Zach's done a lot for me on and off the field. I can honestly say, as far as the football world, him, and then I got to give a shout out to my Mama Linnell. She's my football mama, Mama Linnell, because honestly speaking, coaching football wasn't even something I was thinking of. So I got to give a shout out to both of them, because I wouldn't even be doing the sports media or coaching or any of that with anything I've done in the past 11 years if it wasn't from them two individuals as far as the sports game goes. So I got to give a shout out to them. And like I said, Commonwealth Elite Warriors. I got it tatted in blood. So you know I got to give a shout out to them.
There you go. Professor, your closing statements. You got 5 minutes and a player or organization you want to give a shout out to.
Ooh, well, you know how I go, man. Professor represents North and South Carolina. So shout out to the Carolinas, AAU, SCIFA, the AYF, everybody out there doing their thing. You can catch me in the lab with my man Samson, the bad guy, every Sunday from 5 to 8 on the VoYce Sports page. As far as coaches, it's one of our main things we've always saying is do your due diligence. That's the parents and the coaches. Everybody needs to do their due diligence. Know what you're getting yourself into. As you go and you meet and you're greeting these parents and these players, coaches, make sure you're talking to the parents. You get the kind of idea of what they're like, what their household is like, what they're, you don't have to pry too much, but you ask the right questions. Parents, when you go, don't fully commit into something that you're not ready for until you've seen the tryouts, the conditioning. You see how this coach acts under pressure and under stress. Do your due diligence, and everything should turn out just fine.
My man. Laverne, come on, AD, give me your closing statement on coaches and give a shout out to an org or league that you believe needs that special love.
All right. As far as coaches are concerned, anyone I think that is doing the best that they can do, I just recommend that all coaches continue to get education, go to clinics, go to workshops, things like that to improve yourself. Because if you expect the kids to get better, that means as a coach, you got to look at how, and it's not always about the X's and O's part of workshops. So you got to think about how do you reach your new population that you have. Establishing relationships with parents is critical. Having meetings, having team building is necessary to where you're going to be able to make sure that you get to know people when it's a non-threatening situation. So although we think when we get on the field or the court and we have that child, we put people inside the lines, that becomes a threat if people's individual child is not there who they have invested in. However, as a coach, you invested in every last one of them. So therefore, and you always have the best interest of the child. As long as the family and a parent and the child knows that you ideally have their best interest, if you got to explain it to them on a one-on-one and do so, set goals with your players. And then that way, some of the questions and problems, the conversations that come up between coaches and parents and players don't have to be, because all you got to do is say, are you meeting your goals? Are you making your check mark? Make a checklist. Real simple things can make things a little bit easier. A shout out to, I'm going to say, of course, I got to say my own organization, DCPG Sports. And we specialize in making sure that athletics can happen for kids and we can build the divide between the haves and the have-nots. Your zip code and your financial status should not keep you from being able to play sports, and give you an opportunity to be introduced to some sports, especially in the DMV area and in the DC and Prince George's County, and be exposed to sports that are some of the non-traditional is what we do. And Spike It Volleyball will be kicking off tryouts for a club in November, and I want you all to save the date of October 11th. There's a big seminar that I will be doing with some other athletic sports professionals that is called Vigilant Sports. It's more than sportsmanship. Civility matters. So we want to be civil to each other, but we don't even know. We think it's all about sportsmanship, but it's bigger than that.
Hey, yo, she is always on the grind. I used to call her the Oprah of youth sports. She was like Oprah. Hey, look, Professor, she had me doing volleyball, bro.
Hey, listen,
I was
enjoying it. I was one of the ones watching. You saw. I was the one watching. I loved it.
I said, we ain't doing volleyball now.
Yeah,
man, we doing everything,
man. Please, we'll do water polo, but the horses kept drowning.
Yeah, if you're gonna take an invoice, I call pitching quarters if you're gonna do it like that.
Hello,
Uncle Harry. I know we really hadn't had a chance to get a chance to really interact with you. Tell us a little bit about we was doing closing statements on coaches. I know by you following a lot of the great teams out there in West Virginia, their interactions. What would be your message to those parents looking for the right coach for their kid, or just a common closing statement? I can't hear him. There you go. Okay, your mic is gone. I can't hear you. You're muted. Unmute yourself. You got that baritone voice. That thing we like. You got to hear you unmuted. He's muted now. Unmuted. There you go. Can you hear him now, y'all?
Nope.
Man, we come back next Tuesday. Uncle Harry got to come in here a little early. We want to make sure he's right, because I know he got a lot of good stuff to talk about.
There you go. Well, Wayne, what's yours? Yeah. I know you have a thought process.
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. As we looked at all of it across the board, I think that you have to know who you're working with. Not only whether the student athlete, but also the parents. Also, as a coach, there's so much mentorship that goes into what you do. And I know this one of the biggest things I miss about being a coach personally was the interaction with the kids, the way you were able to connect lives, and the same thing with the parents and what have you, and the ups and downs of dealing with that. Every coach that puts effort forth into this, I salute you, because many of them go without being paid. We always talk about how school teachers are underpaid and how it's a travesty. There's a lot of youth coaches that go unpaid, and we really have to take our time and look at that. Also, I want to give a shout out to my man Rusty Noel down in Louisiana, as they were struck by a Category 4 hurricane last week. I had a chance to talk to him earlier this week on several occasions, just checking on them. There's so many families that have been displaced. And while everybody has their cameras set on New Orleans, the surrounding states have been hit hard. If you know someone in Louisiana, you haven't talked to them or checked in with them, please get in contact with my man Rusty Noel, true talent, All-American Games. So many of the great contributions that are made to them go directly into feeding, providing water, helping families who are virtually sleeping in their cars because the roof got blown off their houses. You have situations where flooding has really tore up people's homes, snakes and alligators in their basement, things of that nature. I'm not prepared to even deal with mentally. always be mindful of what's going on somewhere else. I'm here in the DMV, but my heart, mind, and concerns go out to those in Louisiana trying to deal with it. And my man Rusty Noel and the True Talent All-American Game staff have been out there providing 1,600 meals and cold waters for kids to drink and just supporting. So a lot of times you hear the term it's bigger than football. When you go to some of these events, man, the guys that are behind it really contribute heavily to their community, and that's a part of coaching. That's a part of mentorship. And while we laugh and joke at a lot of these videos and criticize each other for how they do it, everybody is doing the best they can in their area with what they got.
There you go. And this isn't the first time Rusty's done this, ladies and gentlemen. Just last year, he was doing the same thing all over again. Every time something goes on in and around his community, Rusty is right there. Front line,
that big
doesn't
old
matter.
crock pot. He pulled that crock
last year when he posted up in a parking lot and had the trucks coming straight to him, and the families would travel for miles, walking, driving, however, and they would feed those families, find a way to get that stuff back to them. Shout out to Rusty, man. Hey, listen, that is truly a angel walking on earth right there.
Man. So, Mikey, I know did we get Harry's vocals back yet? Harry, you good yet?
Yeah, I think he might have to come out and come back in. He don't.
Right. We'll get Harry in next time. I'm glad he's in the face count. Mikey, go ahead and give us a closing statement.
Wayne, good time, man. Thank you, everybody, man. I can't wait till next week to have VoYce Sports back on. You know, you are hearing from all these guys at the same time. Samson always has some great input. The professor, always love what he's doing down there in the Carolina areas. Professor, I got a question though. Is it you're like T-Top or Swamp? You're like, I hope you know who they are, right? Nope, he don't know.
Is it G-Top?
No, T-Top, the battle rappers. T-Top or Swamp. I know there's an issue.
Here you go with that stuff, man.
Get out of here.
I listen to some, but I go back to them Cassidy days, so I don't even get into it. I'm a Cassidy fan.
Cassidy's
the energy, but that's another story. Guys, thank you, man.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, please, we a lot of them, just like the coaches out here, a lot of us move around and we don't get compensated for what we do. Make sure you check out the Cash App options, make donations as we take that to better off what we're doing here and do it better for you. We accept all your donations. The information is placed at the bottom. You got $, the VoYce Reporters, as well as $, Can We Keep It Real? Am I right?
Yeah. It's all up. But let's see if Uncle Harry got his voice back since he at least went off, came back in.
Come on, Harry. Where we at? Can y'all hear him?
I could hear him. Got that tough internet connection.
You're the only one. You're the only one. I think you still got it muted or the volume's down. One of the two.
Hey, give him an A for effort, though. He was checking it all
definitely.
night.
Hey, look, I can't wait to see Uncle Harry back in that number. We got to get together. When it's over, Harry, I'm going to give you a call, bro.
Thank you, Wayne, man. Very nice. I can't wait till next week. We'll see, what we can talk about next week on the VoYce Reporters on Can We Keep It Real podcast. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Oh, and definitely big shout out to definitely, man. Big shout out to who is it? Champion Drive, right?
Champion Drive Transportation, Cali Bowl, baby. Going back
to Cali.
Hey, watch it. We're gonna set it off. VoYce Sports, baby. We're gonna be in your neighborhood soon. Uncle Harry, we gotta get together.
All right, man.
You might go
Thank
be up
you,
there,
everybody.
Ohio, bro. Pack your bags.
Out of here. See you later. Have a good night.
Appreciate you, Mike. Keep it real.
Keep It Real Podcast Network. Shout out to Can We Keep It Real Podcast.
You nervous with butterflies in your stomach? Don't try to intimidate me. You couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, smart, dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work. He ain't prepared me to quit. I'm the only captain who's sailing this championship.
I gotta hold down the city.
I gotta let you know where I come from.
I gotta hold down the city.
I gotta let you know.
What a good show, man. Thank you to the people that helped me make this possible. Shout out Mark Wright. Coldwell Bank is Coastal Home, a presidential award winner. If you're looking to buy a house, give Mark a call today. Thank you to VoYce Sports. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Fans Only Sports. Definitely go check out their platform, man. Done so much for me. Shout out to Behind the Pads, Coach Nadeem, Hurlin Perry, bringing these guys back to the Super Bowl. They're going to be in San Diego playing for the NFL Flag League Championship. Now, they went down to Atlanta. They qualified, came back. They went up to Boston, got that out the way. So definitely shout out to Behind the Pads. And if you want to help Behind the Pads get out to San Diego, hit up Nadeem Robinson. You can inbox me. I can give you his information. But these boys are working their way to San Diego. All his information's in a podcast that we did a few days ago. Shout out to Emerson Kilgore, 401 Strength and Fitness. Emerson, a big supporter of what we do, man. And definitely shout out to Willie Edwards. Go check out his podcast. So much content. We'll be back next week with VoYce Sports for sure. And don't forget, this week coming up, man, we got some great high school games. So we'll see what's up for tomorrow.